All right, ladies and gentlemen, part two of the dark side of physical therapy. Up close and personal today, we are going to go through what I consider to be a laundry list of shenanigans. I mean, I don't really know how else to put it, okay? When you go into a physical therapy clinic, you are given all the fluff. You are really, it doesn't matter if you're a 24-year-old athlete who is having an ACL repair, or if you're a 77-year-old grandmother having an ACL repair. In professional sports, or maybe collegiate sports, it may be a little bit different, okay? I'm just talking about the general population here. If nobody knows who you are, if you have an Instagram following of 135 people and they're mostly just your friends and your family, you tear your ACL, you go to the PT clinic after you get your surgery. This is pretty much how things are going to go, okay? If you are a regular person and you develop pain somewhere, you go to the doctor, they refer you to PT. This is how it's going to go. You slip and fall, you hit yourself, something like that. Something falls on you. You get in a car accident. This is pretty much how things are going to go. So I had a client come in just a little bit ago, and this is pretty typical. A lot of clients, first time, they will bring me a laundry list of things. I'll get MRIs. I'll get a whole real nice thick packet, okay, of everything they've been through. This person was super kind enough to type everything out. Now, obviously, I don't go through everything in our first meeting and whatnot, but I did get a chance recently to sit down and check out what was written down. And, it's horrifying, okay? The guy's in his mid-60s. He's in the prime of his life. He's done it all. He's been it all. Okay, he can finally enjoy what most people call the American dream. And, he hasn't been and isn't enjoying his life very much because of the amount of pain that he's been in. So I'm going to read for you, word for word, what was actually given to me, okay? I don't know if I'm going to do the whole thing just because it's quite a lot. We'll get to most of the stuff. But we're going to start here. Early teens through his 50s. Occasional sciatic or piriformis syndrome, burning pain from lumbar glutes through calf several times a year without obvious inducement. Typically starts on one side for a few days, then switches to the other for a few days, then is okay for a few months. Got more frequent with age. When he was 12, he had sciatic pain on his right side. He went to a doctor. They ended up doing an x-ray, and they showed you got a little bit of scoliosis. So clearly when he was born, I don't think he was born with it, but clearly when he was born, he fell, okay? And we get an off-kilter atlas and axis, okay? C1 and C2. And what ends up happening is the body starts to adjust the hips so your head is straight when you're standing up. This is what we call functional scoliosis. He had this when he was 12. Now he's in his mid-60s, okay? We're going to see how it went for him. Mid-20s to the 50s. Had several instances of low back locking up, preventing movement for a few hours. Only once every 6 to 7 years or so. Resumption to normalcy a day or so later. Lumbar and hamstrings generally very tight throughout these years, but was able to be athletic, sports, gym, etc. Neck and shoulders always very tight. Thoracic would get tight and painful when walking for a while. When someone often would have someone walk on back to crack and relieve pain and discomfort. Now we're getting into 2015. Experienced first major lumbar spasm a couple of hours after lifting something very heavy. Excruciating pain with each contraction. Slightest movement would bring on additional spasms. unable to hold up body weight. Experienced 2 further major lumbar spasms between 2016 and 2018. Able to resume some level of physical activity, gym weights several weeks after, but each had to be very guarded in movements. April 2018, another major spasm just from bending over. Over 50 spasms in 2 days from slightest move. Never able to resume normal physical activity afterwards. Constant low back pain. This is in 2018, April of 2018. February of 2020. Major lumbar spasm as a result of PT having me try standing up from chair with a 50-pound kettlebell. Spent 3 weeks in bed, unable to resume even minor normal activity since. Effectively been homebound since. Started taking drugs daily, resulting to habituation. Start of anxiety added to depression. September 14th, 2020. Minor lumbar spasms after some easy general activity. Went to PT who had been doing acupuncture and Rolfing, who dug his elbows hard and deep into lumbar area. Of course, because the back hurts, that's where we have to treat, of course. Started having major lumbar spasms a few hours later, which continued through November. That's over a month. Needed a walker to move around. Difficulty sitting, laying down motionless is only way to be pain-free. Cannot turn over in bed without spasms. Getting out of bed is excruciatingly painful, taking a while of walking to straighten up. Spasms largely resolved after 3 epidurals in November while in Georgia. Getting PT for 3 months. Standing or walking for a couple of hours causes very bad pain in thoracic area. June 2021. Have been functional since December. Been receiving dry needle treatment, Gray Cook's PT facility 2 times a week from June to November. Can drive and walk without a walker. Mornings are bad, lumbar very tight and painful. Have to move carefully as slightest wrong move elicits sharp lumbar spasms. Less lumbar pain throughout the day unless moving or bending, but thoracic becomes very painful as day progresses. I'm standing, walking, or carrying 10 pounds. Knees started becoming very painful, and left ankle pain from a break on April of 2019. November 22nd, 2021, doctor in Florida used ultrasound to diagnose multifidus tear L4, L5. Prolotherapy didn't help. January 2022, ultrasound, no muscle tears. January 2022 again. Now they confirmed multifidus tear with a video. February, went and did a scoliosis boot camp. They found significant pelvic rotation. Nothing really happening. Second boot camp, they went back to address the rotated pelvis. May of 2022, lumbar and thoracic issues, reaffirms multifidus tear, says back muscles are very fibrous. Then we got PRP. Now it feels worse. There's more adhesions, more tightness. June of 2022, lumbar level 1 spasm after using a strap for hamstring stretches day before. June 26, 2022, lumbar still suffering, some anxiety starting from hopelessness and fear of living like this for a lifetime. July 3rd, 2022, mostly recovered from June 19th spasm, resumption of pre-spasm condition. Excuse me, lots of reading. Medical professionals seen since onset of spasms in 2015. Orthopedists, neurologists, orthopedic and neurological surgeons, based on MRI, CAT scans, and SPECT scan, all agree that spine is normal for age and no basis for surgery. Many different physical therapists, each with their own methodology, traditional fascia release, acupuncture, Rolfing, etc., citing everything from tight hamstrings, facet joint syndrome, nerve damage, sitting too much in a lounge chair, loss of muscle cell memory, etc., etc. Rheumatologist did blood work and found no abnormalities. Chiropractor utilized math and physics, claimed my pelvis is severely rotated. 1 minute adjustments didn't help at all. Some PTs think that his 7 millimeter short leg, which is the right leg, may be causing some of the issues. Chiropractor, seen 2021, says it's due to lack of mobility. PT believes it's due to muscle atrophy. Another doctor and chiropractor and scoliosis expert says I have some lateral scoliosis mid-back, but main issue is pelvic rotation. Nobody knows how to fix this pelvic rotation. Another doctor used ultrasound to find another multifidus, or the same multifidus tear, L4, L5, did PRP, didn't work. Doctor, again, PRP injections, May of 2022, didn't work. No improvements as of July 3rd, 2022. So for the last couple of years, he's been doing muscle activation PT therapy, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, has been trying to detox and drain his system based on quantum nutrition testing and applied kinesiology, and he's been doing dry needling. I really don't even, when I get something like this, you got to excuse me. It makes me kind of mad. I mean, this is what I went through a lot with my knees when I had pain in my knees. I mean, I spent $30,000 to $40,000 on practitioners and nobody could help me. But this is pretty much par for the course when we are treating the body incorrectly. When we are looking at the body from a chemical standpoint, when we have an architectural problem, okay? It's a big problem. Nothing's going to happen. So I'm sorry if this was really painful for some of you, if you're going through the same thing. Don't hesitate to contact me. But, we have probably one more video, maybe two, that I'm going to do, just exposing the industry for what it is. Most of the times they have no clue what they're doing, how to truly fix something in the human body, and you're going to pay the price.